Hey guys, what's up? It's Mariah. Welcome to my channel. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about 12 ways you can save money while wedding planning. 12 ways to save money while wedding planning, and this is by far one of my favorite topics because I love saving a little bit of coin here and there because that means I can put that money that I saved into another area that's probably more important. Before we move on, if you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe by hitting the red subscribe button down below and that little bell so you'll be notified every time I post up a new video. Anyways, if you want to know 12 ways to save money while wedding planning, then just keep watching. Okay, so the first way to save money is using silk flowers instead of real flowers. I decided on using silk flowers instead of hiring a florist to do my centerpieces because one, it saves a whole ton of money because I cannot stand watching money die, because when you use real flowers, in the next couple of days, you're gonna see it dying, and it's like watching money die pretty much. So what better way to maximize our money by using silk flowers? And silk flowers are actually so much more cheaper than real flowers because it's synthetic. So just a brief rundown of the cost that my centerpieces were, and I'll put a picture up if I can get a good picture of it because all my centerpieces are actually at my future mother-in-law's house. But each centerpiece that I made is between $30 and $35. Now, if you were to take that same centerpiece and use real flowers, it's gonna cost you anywhere from $250 to $350. And of course, that's gonna depend on how much flowers go in each bouquet and what type of flowers you use. Number 2, limit your wedding favors, or just don't do them at all. Truth be told, your guests will probably not notice you give them any favors. It's gonna obviously depend on the type of favor you give. So if you give, like, no offense if you've done this or you're planning to do this, but if you're giving succulents or I've seen like rolled fancy towels, you know, the ones that are rolled into like a rose or a little cake. If you give succulents, if your guest is not naturally a green thumb, they're gonna think it's probably just gonna die. Why am I gonna take it home? I might as well not. And each of those succulents costs anywhere between $5 and $10. And that's a lot of money that you're gonna waste if you give succulents. Towels. The towels ones are the ones that are so funny because I've been to, like, obviously I've been to Justin's mom's house. Like, I go there more than I see my own parents, unfortunately. I go there maybe 2-3 times a week to either have dinner or whatever, but I see favors lined up like in different parts of their house. Like, one is by the kitchen, like favors are lined up by the kitchen, favors are lined up in the living room, and a lot of them are towels or like in boxes that you can't see what's inside. Like, I've opened one of them and there were cookies in there and I have no idea how long the cookies were in there. Yeah, I opened one of the favors and it wasn't even mine, sorry. But oh my god, I see towels and towels and towels rolled up, and Justin's mom still buys more towels and it's literally collecting dust. So if you're doing towels, I'm sorry, but I don't think you should do towels. Now, if you're doing food, like what I'm doing French macarons, and it's in a clear plastic bag so everyone knows that there's food in there. So everyone knows what's inside of it. You can also do truffles. Like, I'm probably gonna do truffles as well. I'm really debating because I don't want to dip hundreds of truffles. But I'm gonna do French macarons, and I think a lot of people like them. Hopefully they like them and appreciate them because I only want to make them, one, because I love making them. Not that I love to eat them, but I love making them. And I've actually brought 3 big trays to a family party, and it was the first one gone before even all the regular dinner foods was gone. Or don't do favors at all. Truth is, your guests may not even notice that you didn't give them a favor. One, because they're having a really good time, so make sure your entertainment is really, really good, or at least your DJ is really, really good at what he does. And the great food. If you have good food, they may not even notice that you didn't give them any favors. Like, for me, I'm doing a few different types of favors. One, because I have help making the favors. Like, my maid of honor, she is making these little cute tissue boxes. I'll post pictures once she finishes them. I think she has a lot of them done, but it says it's a mini tissue box with maybe 2 or 3 tissues in there, and it's going to say for your happy tears, and we're going to give them to each person at the ceremony. So I think that's really, really cute. And like I said, we're gonna do French macarons and maybe truffles. But also, Justin's mom, we're giving soap bars. Honestly, I'm praying that everyone uses soap. Like, I'm sure everyone takes a shower, washes their butt, you know. But, you know, soap. Or their hands. You can use it to wash your hands too. We're giving bars of soap to each couple or each family, not to each person because most of the time people share a bathroom. But we're gonna give it to each couple or each family, and then each person is gonna get the little macarons. Number 3, serve beer and wine instead of having a full bar. One reason why, I'm gonna give you a tiny bit of an example. So you see this is glitter, but we're gonna pretend this is a shot of whiskey or something else, and this is $9. Or you can get a glass of wine for the same price. Look at the size difference. I think your guests are gonna chug this down like crazy, order like 20 of them, and that's, what is 20 times 9? That's a lot of money. So serve beer and wine instead of having a full bar open, because it's the hard liquor that's gonna spike your bill up really quickly, and you do not want that. Luckily for us, I'm so grateful for Justin's dad because he's taking care of all of the liquor. So it's kind of an open bar, but not really. I actually want to limit the amount of guests. It's a good thing I have the last say in everything. According to my vendor, they said that everything has to go through me first before any final decisions have been made. So Justin's dad is taking care of all of the liquor, and he wants an open bar, but I'm not gonna have an open bar. We're gonna limit the amount of drinks per guest, and we're still figuring out how we're gonna do this. So yeah. So number 4, have a lunch reception instead of a dinner reception, or even a brunch reception. Brunch reception is kind of early though, so I suggest having a lunch reception. But this is something that I'm doing, not because we're trying to cut costs on the amount, like how much it costs per head, because having a lunch reception costs half as much as having a dinner reception. At our venue, it depends on the menu we choose, but it's between $35 and $45 a head instead of $55 to $70 a head. That's a huge difference. Having a lunch reception is half the cost, and we're not doing it just to save money during lunch, but the most important people in our lives are usually busy in the evening time. So because we want them at our wedding, we decided to have it at lunch. And that's just a personal decision. And we're having it during the week. We're actually having it on a Monday. The only reason why we're having it on a Monday is because, again, the most important people in our lives are usually busy in the evenings and during the weekends. And Justin and I, we're the same way. We are busy in the evenings and we're busy on the weekends. Most of the time we have our weekdays free, but during the daytime. But again, save money, not save money, but save money by having a lunch reception instead of a dinner reception. And if you choose, have it during the week instead of on the weekend. That's one way you can have it cost a little bit better, but just don't have it during any major holidays. Luckily, my wedding day is not on a major holiday. Number 5, pick a venue that limits your guest count. I'm only saying this because my venue, we can have a max of about 220 people. That's the absolute max that we could have, and I only wanted 50 people. Actually, it's not something that I wanted, but it's something that we could afford, that was in our budget. We just wanted the most important people at our wedding. But since Justin's parents are taking care of a ton of the cost, they actually sat us down for dinner and said, you know, you're only gonna get married once. And I know we all plan to only get married once. And Justin has a huge family. Justin's mom has 5 brothers and sisters. Justin's dad has 5 brothers and sisters. And when I first met them, I was like, dang, you had a lot of cousins. But they have a big family, and they want to invite their immediate family, I guess, within like the first cousins or whatever. I have no idea how that all works out. But he has a huge family, and we want them to be a part of it. They want them to be a part of it. So we ended up maxing out our banquet hall. We are literally 170 people over what we originally planned. So the reason why I say pick a venue that limits your guest count, say you only want 50 people or you only want 100 people, pick a venue that can only accommodate 100 people or 50 people, so that your future in-laws or your parents can't keep inviting people like what happened to us. Another way you can save money is DIYs. The only reason why I say DIYs is because one, stationery costs so much. If you were to have your invitations and all of your stationery, save the dates, done somewhere else. Of course, if you pick Shutterfly, I think Shutterfly does invitation, Shutterfly, Vistaprint, those places, you can totally save a ton of money. But most of the time it comes with a template, and it's not really, maybe it's not you, maybe it's something you really don't want, but you're doing it just to save money. Another way to do it is buy a template off of Etsy, or have someone off of Etsy like me. I actually do graphic designing for invitations and stationery. Buy a design on Etsy and let whoever you get it from, they're gonna plug in all the information for you, they're gonna arrange it all for you, send you a digital proof, you say yes, okay, it's good, and then they'll send you a final proof without the watermark, and you can print it out as much times as you want. And most of the time, like for me, if you decide to do an invitation suite instead of just the invitation alone, you'll most likely get a discount, and you'll just save so much more money printing it out yourself than having someone else do it, because all you do is pay one time for the digital copy, and then you print it out as much times as you want, and you'll be happy with the design instead of picking a template off of a website. But this is what my invitation looks like, and I did this all myself. I designed my invitation part, and I have 3 layers of cardstock on here, and it saved me a lot of money. If I just did this front piece, it would have totally saved me a whole ton of money, but I really wanted layers. I wanted it to look classy and regal. I did this little ribbon thing with a wax seal decal, and it looks so pretty. I even foiled this myself. So if you want me to do something like that for you, for your wedding, if you're planning on doing something similar, let me know and I could totally work with you. I don't have that on my Etsy shop yet because I'm trying to still figure things out on how the costs are gonna work, because with this kind of invitation, it does take a lot of labor work. Another way you can save money, like I mentioned in number 1, do your own centerpieces and use silk flowers instead of real flowers. Doing your own centerpieces will save you a ton of money. Even if you were to use real flowers, instead of having someone put flowers in a jar for you, like if you're doing a rustic wedding and you're using little mason jars or just little fancy cute cups, it's easier and much more affordable to go to Costco or Sam's Club and order bulk flowers and just put it in there yourself. It's going to save you a whole ton of money doing that instead of hiring a florist. If you have the money to do that, lucky you. Not a lot of us are lucky like you. But me, I just like saving money. So I decided to do all my centerpieces myself, and my mother-in-law, my future mother-in-law, she kind of thinks I'm crazy for doing that. Number 7, and this is one of my most favorite things, is shopping clearance. I don't know if you guys love shopping clearance, but I love shopping clearance. I absolutely love shopping clearance racks. 1, because instead of buying one dress for $100, I can buy 4 dresses totaling $100, or 5 dresses or 6 dresses. Like I bought my rehearsal dress online, and I'll leave a link to the website I went to. It's Lulu's. I think it's Lulu's. If it's not Lulu's, I'll link it down below. But I've done a ton of shopping on there, and I bought my dress for only for less than $50, and it is so pretty. I even bought my shoes on there for, I think it's like less than $20, and it's so pretty. It's like a champagne strappy sandal. And I got a 10% off coupon, so I saved a ton of money. But also don't forget to check out Ross, check out TJ Maxx. I bought 3 pairs of shoes from TJ Maxx. I bought a couple pairs of shoes from Ross, and then I went to the last act section in Macy's, and I bought 4 pairs of shoes there. I was kind of crazy. Justin actually bought me 2 of those pairs, and I bought the other 2. Just kidding, I used his card. He bought me 4 pairs of shoes. But other than that, don't forget to check out clearance racks, because why are you gonna pay full price for shoes? Yes, Badgley Mishka shoes are really, really pretty. Christian Louboutins are really, really pretty, but they're also really, really expensive. And you're probably one, gonna use it for 1 day, and 2, if you're having an outdoor wedding, the material on the shoes, if they're fabric of any sort, they're gonna get stained, and you're gonna really kill yourself for deciding to wear $300 or $2,000 shoes on your wedding, and they're ruined. Number 8, shop at Amazon and AliExpress. One of my favorite places to shop is Amazon. I buy almost everything from Amazon. My backdrop is from Amazon. A ton of things in my apartment is from Amazon and Target. Target is another place I love shopping. But if you're gonna shop from AliExpress, I do suggest you shop maybe 4 or 5 months in advance, so that you're absolutely sure that you have enough time to get it in and prep it the way you want to prep it. Anyways, I bought most of my favorites, but not my favorites, but my favorite supplies from Amazon. My auntie, who's one of my godparents, she bought like my favorite box things from AliExpress, but we did order that 6 months ago, I think, so yeah. But I bought a ton of my DIY supplies from Amazon, so don't forget to check out Amazon. Amazon is a great place to shop. Number 9, skip the double envelope thing. I have no idea why people do outer envelope and inner envelope. Yes, I know, it's so that if the outer envelope gets ugly from like the transportation and stuff from the mail people, the inner envelope keeps everything pretty. Truth be told, they're gonna throw away the envelopes. They're probably only gonna keep your invitation until after the wedding date, and they're gonna throw that whole thing away. Yes, knowing that I spent a ton of hours working on these invitations, knowing that they're probably gonna get thrown away, unless you're Filipino, you're probably gonna keep this somewhere hidden in a drawer. It kills me to know that those things are gonna get thrown away, but I wanted to be happy with them, so I took my time to make them. But skip the double envelope thing. No one needs an inner envelope. No one needs an outer envelope. All you need is one envelope. Number 10, serve sheet cake or cupcakes or petit fours instead of having a huge cake. One, because most venues charge cake cutting fees. My venue, I don't remember if it's $2 or $4. I think it's $2 for lunchtime at least. $4 for dinner maybe. Per person to cut the cake. So since I'm having over 200 people, that's about $400 just for them to cut the cake. So I'm doing petit fours instead. One, because they're way cuter, and 2, I just saved $400 to $800 on someone to cut my cake. Number 11, and I'm only gonna touch on this a tiny bit, is stationery. Do your own stationery. Doing your own stationery is gonna save you a ton of money, and I already touched on this a little bit. But yeah, like I mentioned, go to Etsy, buy a design suite. I'll link my Etsy shop down below if you're interested. Just know that the design that's on there is just a sample, and I could send you all of my different designs, floral patterns, any graphic patterns, and you get to choose from those. You get to choose your own font and stuff like that, so whatever you see on my site is not final or anything like that. It's just a sample of how it could possibly look. The last and final thing I want to talk about is postage. To save money in the long run, if you're months and months ahead, I do suggest buying a sheet of postage or even a roll of postage every few weeks, every month, because postage is gonna add up at the end. And when I was sending out my save the dates, I have no idea where my save the dates are. Here it is. When I was doing my save the dates, I included a whole bunch of different things with my save the dates that it costed me a little bit more, only because it ended up being non-machinable. Non-machinable just means it's going to add on an extra cost. They're going to have to enter in addresses manually, and yeah. And just remember, the more you put inside, the more it's going to cost. And say like each invitation costs maybe $2 to send out, and you're sending out 100 invitations, that's $200 you're going to have to pay at the post office, and that's a lot of money to pay at once. So I suggest just buying postage every other week, every 4 weeks, every month, every 4 weeks, and every month is kind of the same. Every other month, buy a roll, buy a sheet, whatever fits your budget, depending on how many guests you're gonna have. But I suggest doing that because you don't want to end up with a huge bill at the end, like, of your, I guess, when you're sending out your invitations. Like, I have to start sending out my invitations like next week, but you don't want to end up with a huge bill sending them out. Anyways, that is it. 12 ways you can save money while wedding planning, because a lot of us, we want to save money. We want to put that money that we saved into somewhere else that's a little bit more important, that's going to be a little bit more beneficial for us. But that is it. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to subscribe down below. I'll leave my Etsy shop down below as well. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah.